This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist CJ Cartledge.
And good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Welcome to the new work week. I'm First Alert meteorologist CJ Cartledge here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown. There we go. That was a little bit of a technical difficulty there. There we go. All right, let's get the super up for you guys. I'm First Alert meteorologist CJ Cartledge here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown to start off the new week. I hope you guys have had a great weekend despite the massive cool down that we saw throughout Saturday night into Sunday, and even cooler conditions as we moved into this morning. We're going to be diving into the details of how cold it is outside and what's making it still cold here outside here. We're going to be talking about the forecast as we go throughout this work week and into next weekend, and we're also going to be diving into the weather on what we're talking about for the week of Christmas here for next week. We're going to be diving into that outlook and, describing the details of what's expected here through the next week or so here around the ArkLaTex. So let's take a live look outside as of right now at our KSLA tower camera sponsor. It doesn't have a sponsor here, but we are looking at blue skies overhead, just like how we saw yesterday around the ArkLaTex, but it is frigid. We're dealing with frigid conditions right now across the region. And we're expecting temperatures to, quickly rise into the 40s across the region by this afternoon. We could see some lower 50s out there in some portions around the region. But let's take a quick look at what's going on outside right now in terms of winds here. So we're dealing with winds just below that 10 mile per hour mark here for pretty much all of the areas. Some areas are dealing with calm winds. We're dealing with an easterly wind here near Marshall and Shreveport, northerly winds by Natchitoches, as well as calm winds for Bienville, Minden, and most of the northeastern portions of the ArkLaTex. A bit windier for the western side of the region. But here's temperatures right now. We have increased or warmed up to around 36 degrees here near Shreveport, 30 for Idabel, 34 for Mount Pleasant, 29 for DeQueen. And as you can see, it's much cooler conditions up here in the northern portions of the country. I'm going to zoom out just to show you guys the purplish color that's ongoing, that is being shown here near the Great Lakes region. That is where temperatures have fallen to the lower to mid-teens out there. Just before the show, I checked what the temperature was by Chicago. I believe it was 13 degrees. So thankfully, we're not dealing with those type of conditions as of right now here for the ArkLaTex, but we're dealing with around 29 degrees for DeQueen. It's still pretty cold here around the ArkLaTex, around 31 for Florine, 32 by Natchitoches there. 33 for Bienville, 34 by Nacogdoches, and it looks to be at around 33 also for Marshall. Now, here's the temperature change as compared to around 24 hours ago. So this goes back to 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, and we're seeing very similar temperatures, maybe just a bit cooler temperatures as compared to around 24 hours ago. But as we go into the early morning hours for this morning here, that temperature difference was much greater as compared to what we're seeing here on the screen. I'm going to go back around 4 hours ago. That temperature trend obviously grows here as temperatures dipped into the lower to mid-20s across the region this morning. And some areas, even the upper teens, I believe one or two areas dipped into like 19 or 18 degrees in terms of actual temperatures, not feels like temperatures. And feels like temperatures were in the mid-20s, as low as 14 by DeQueen in the northern portion of the ArkLaTex. I believe it's near Idabel. Idabel or DeQueen was what I was talking about with Evan just before the show here, just before the podcast. But here's a temperature change throughout the past 24 hours as of 6:33 a.m. So this is comparing temperatures on Sunday at 6:33 a.m. to temperatures this morning at 6:33 a.m. We were 20 degrees cooler today or this morning as compared to yesterday near Shreveport, and 22 degrees cooler degrees cooler in near Carthage, and 20 degrees cooler near Marshall, as well as Texarkana and Nacogdoches here. I actually want to look at how low temperatures have gotten here according to our max system. I'm going to go back through the past 4 hours, just like how we did in the other whatchamacallit, the other graphic that I showed there. And as you can see, temperatures, this is not right now. This is as of 6:33, close to 7 a.m. Yes, this is close to 7 a.m. here. I'm just showing you guys the lowest temperatures that we saw here. Around 25 for Shreveport. I checked the KSLA First Alert Weather app, and I think we got to around 24 degrees as I checked as of 7:30 this morning here. I believe around 22 for Carthage, 21 for quite some time near Idabel and DeQueen this morning. It got as low as 23 by Texarkana and Mount Pleasant, as low as 26 by Nacogdoches. These are the lowest temperatures that we have seen so far this fall season, and what we will see for the fall season here as we wrap up. We are expecting warmer temperatures or higher temperatures as we move through the rest of the work week and into the weekend here. So these are the lowest temperatures that we will see through the rest of the season and as we enter the winter season coming up pretty shortly here. Let's take a quick look at feels like temperatures. We already saw 24-hour temp change already. So here's feels like temperatures. It feels still near the freezing mark near Shreveport, same for Magnolia and Natchitoches. And it feels like 34 degrees by Carthage and Nacogdoches over in southeastern Texas. It still feels like 23 up by Idabel right now, dealing with the slight winds heading out of the north for the most part here. So it still feels pretty cold out there around the ArkLaTex. I hope you guys have brought the big coats and warrior layers as you're headed out the door this morning. Here's a look at temperatures for the next 12 hours. We are expecting the mid and upper 40s for highs today. And that's more than likely going to be in between the 2 and 5 p.m. hours here when highs will be reached. But we will be receiving southerly flow, and that's going to be the case pretty much through today, tomorrow, Wednesday, as well as Thursday before our next cool down heads into the ArkLaTex Thursday night into Friday. And yeah, we're going to be dealing with slightly cooler conditions as temperatures drop back towards and slightly below the average before they rise back above the average heading into the weekend. We're going to be diving into those details in a second, though. Highs for today around the region: 48 for Shreveport, 50 by Center, 51 for St. Augustine, 52 by Nacogdoches, around 48 for Texarkana, 46 by Hope, and as low as 45 looks to be the highs by Homer and Ruston. Here's a look at the forecast through today, tomorrow. A bit cloudy across the region, and we should see highs rise even higher into towards the average for this time of year. I believe we'll be slightly below the average with a high of 59 degrees. Still chilly and sunny through the daytime hours on our Tuesday here with a low chance for rain. We may not see a high chance for rain until we hit moderately high chance for rain until we hit Wednesday and Thursday of this work week here. We have around 30 to 40% chance for rain on both days. And that average high will be was still 60 degrees. I believe it drops to around 59 by the time we hit either Wednesday or Thursday. But we're still expecting above average temperatures for our Wednesday and Thursday, and near average temperatures heading into our Friday. Heading into Saturday, we will see another warm up here around the ArkLaTex as a warm front rolls through the ArkLaTex Friday night into Saturday. Here's our rain chances for the next 5 days. As mentioned before, 30 to 40% chance for both Wednesday and Thursday. That's mainly because of our next weather maker. High pressure moves off to the east, and that's going to allow for temperatures to continue to rise as well as rain chances to rise. We may see isolated shower or two, possibly getting scattered at times in terms of the showers for Wednesday morning. And as we move into Thursday, I believe Wednesday night into Thursday morning, some portions may see rain into Thursday afternoon. We could see more storms along a line which is formed by that low pressure system in the northern portions of the country, which you may be able to see right here. We're only seeing the southern part of that low pressure system, but it is expected to bring some cooler air into the ArkLaTex here. As you can see, showers and storms will be possible. Low severe threat associated with these storms, and it does bring us a cool down here into the ArkLaTex, which will drop highs from the 70s back into the 50s and 60s by Friday afternoon. Future track shows that we could see maybe an isolated shower or two heading into our Tuesday night into our Wednesday here, and this remains heading into our Wednesday morning as mentioned before. Maybe an isolated shower or two will be possible heading towards the evening hours and into the overnight hours and into the morning potentially by the time we hit our Thursday, as you can see. But there's that front moving through, that cold front moving through the ArkLaTex and bringing us the chance for rain showers across the region here. As you can see, you don't see many dark green colors associated with the line that will be rolling through. So that just tells me that the chance for rain seems to be moderate to low, or low to moderate as of right now. It doesn't seem to be a very high chance for rain associated with this system that will be rolling through. but it should be out of the ArkLaTex by the afternoon hours and into the evening for our Thursday. And there's the cooler air rolling through the ArkLaTex from the north and west as we move into our Friday here. Here's a look at the rainfall potential through the next 7 days ahead of us. Not much rain is expected, and it's possible that the far northeastern portions of the ArkLaTex may see the bulk of the rainfall through the next 7 days here. Make sure to water those plants a little bit extra as we're expecting warmer than average temperatures by the end of this week, as well as little to no rainfall on the way. Here's our 7-day forecast, and we're going to be diving into this. We're going to dive into the long-range outlook here soon after we finish this forecast and after we go through a 2-minute commercial break. But here's our full 7-day forecast. We're expecting dry conditions through today and tomorrow with highs in the 40s for today, 40s and lower 50s out there, mid and upper 50s, lower 60s for Tuesday, lower to mid 60s by Wednesday. We should see the 70s again as we move into our Thursday. Pretty gradual temperature increase as we move throughout this work week here before our next cool down arrives Thursday night into Friday, dropping highs and lows to near or below the average for this time of year, but we should see above average temperatures return in terms of highs and lows by the time we hit this weekend, with highs in the lower 70s and upper 60s and little to no chance for rain on the way for us as well. So we're going to be diving into a 2-minute commercial break, and then we're going to be talking about the long range outlook, and so looking at some areas that may have a better chance of seeing snow on Christmas. I know that's maybe a dream for you guys that may be listening out here. Maybe you haven't seen snow on Christmas down here before, or you haven't seen it at all, no matter where you were. But we're going to be talking about those chances coming up right after this quick break. And good morning, everyone, and welcome back here. So we're going to be starting off with the temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days, and it shows that we can expect warmer than average conditions here. This is the incorrect time frame here. We're talking about December 21st through the 25th here, actually. So I'm going to change that real fast, and we're going to be talking about what we can expect here through the next 6 to 10 days while I do so. So we are expecting warmer than average conditions here across the ArkLaTex, and that's going to stay that way through the next 6 to 10 days and potentially through the next 8 to 14 days as well here. So so if you're hoping for any types of, snow on Christmas here for the ArkLaTex, it's not looking so likely for us here around the region. But if you have seen snow on Christmas, let me know down in the comments. I would definitely like to know in the comments on the YouTube stream, by the way. I know that the KSLA First Alert Weather app does not have a comment section, but let me know down in the comments of the YouTube stream if you have seen snow on Christmas before. I know it's a very rare occurrence for, especially for areas in the South because it's so warm all the time, but let me know in the comments if you have seen snow on Christmas before. And actually, I have seen snow on Christmas before. It hasn't been, a total whiteout. It hasn't been, 4-6 inches on the ground where you couldn't even see the ground. It's just been, a couple of sprinkles. I believe I saw it when I was home on Christmas break during college. I believe it was a 2021 when Maryland saw, that's where I'm from. Where Maryland saw a couple of snowflakes or instances of snow on Christmas Day, and that was the only time I've seen snow on Christmas. And it has a much higher chance of occurring, obviously, because it's a bit of a cooler climate up in Maryland in the northeastern United States, but believe it or not, I haven't seen snow on Christmas too many times here. There might have been some times when I was like really young, but there hasn't been too many times that I've seen snow on Christmas. There's been one time that I can remember, and that was, I believe, 2021 or 2020. So all in all, through the next 6 to 10 days, December 21st to the 25th, we are expecting above average temperatures here for the ArkLaTex region, and that looks to stay the same as we move into the next 6 to 10 days afterwards. So, or 8 to 14 days, excuse me. December 23rd to the 29th, so this goes throughout the week of Christmas, and as you can see, it's not much of a change here. It's a pretty high chance that we will see above average temperatures here for the ArkLaTex as well as most of the country. As you can see, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is the temperature outlook for the entire country here. I'm going to move my big head off of the screen here just so you can see Florida too, which is dealing with above average temperatures, or will see above average temperatures through the next 8 to 14 days, as well as the next 6 to 10 days. Only areas that may see below average temperatures are areas in the far northeastern portions of the region or the country, and areas in the far northwestern portions of the country there in the Pacific Northwest near Seattle, and most of Washington, portions of Oregon and Idaho, as well as Montana could see below average temperatures, but most of us are either near normal or well above average temperatures are expected through the next 6 to 10 days, as well as the next 8 to 14 days. Now, in terms of precipitation, we are expecting a bit different conditions here. Still drier than average for most of the ArkLaTex, or all of the ArkLaTex actually, and that looks to last through the next 6 to 10 days and the next 8 to 14 days as well. But we could see some instances of snowfall potentially in the far northwestern portions of the country here, which I will show here in this long-range outlook according to the Climate Prediction Center. We're going to go through that 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, and it shows that in areas over here in the western portions of the country, they could see a good deal of snowfall, especially in the far higher elevations near the Rocky, or along the Rocky Mountains there, ranging from Colorado into portions of Idaho and Oregon and through Utah, Nevada. Those areas could definitely see snowfall up there, but that's why they could see above average precipitation through the next 8 to 14 days, as well as the next 6 to 10 days here, as you can see, above average precipitation for those areas as well. But for temperatures, more than likely remaining above the average. So we will be seeing little to no rain here for the ArkLaTex here, though. Here's the next week to 3 week to 4 week outlook for temperatures here. Still above the average for us here near the ArkLaTex, as well as below average precipitation here for the southeastern United States, pretty much as a whole, including some areas in that could be considered northeast, and which I'm talking about Maryland. It could be considered northeast. It could be considered the south. It depends on who you ask. But we could see near normal temperatures up in the northeast through that time frame of 3 weeks to 4 weeks out. That goes from December 27th through the January 9th here. But let's take a look at the drought monitor. Actually, I forgot to show you that to you guys here. I'm going to show that right now as I switch over back to my graphics here. Here's a drought monitor for currently, as of the latest update on Thursday, last Thursday that is. We're still dealing with some slight drought for most, if not all, of the ArkLaTex. Some of the midsections around the Texarkana area, not dealing with any drought as of right now. But those shown in the yellow color are dealing with slight drought right now, moderate drought, which is level 2. Level 2 drought dealing with or areas that are dealing with that are near Shreveport, areas just north of Natchitoches and Nacogdoches as well, portions of East Texas, southeastern Texas, that is. And areas in the far northwestern portions of the ArkLaTex and northeastern Texas and southeastern Oklahoma, we're dealing with some severe drought, I believe, in the beginning of the month, but now they have decreased to around slight to moderate drought, so that is definitely good. But those in the by Natchitoches Parish and Sabine, as well as DeSoto Parish and Wynn Parish, all dealing with severe drought in that circle, just right by Natchitoches City, the city of Natchitoches there. So we definitely need some good deal of rainfall for those areas, but doesn't look so likely through the next few days or few weeks or so, as you can see by that temperature outlook that we just showed here. But we're going to be talking about let's talk about the seasonal outlook here. So this just goes from December, January, February. So 2025 to 2026 is issued November 20th. They're more than likely going to come out with a new update on December 20th in around 5 days here. And we could see near normal temperatures for some areas around the ArkLaTex, but more than likely above average temperatures for areas in the southeastern portions of the ArkLaTex. So all in all, I would expect most areas to remain above the average in terms of temperatures, but we could see some cold snaps, and that's why half of the region will be dealing with above average temperatures, and some will be dealing with near normal temperatures, as you can see by my mouse circling there. That's where the ArkLaTex is located here. But in terms of precipitation, we will more than likely see near normal precipitation, if not below normal precipitation. And that goes on track to what they're talking about in terms of La Nina, which is favored to continue through the next month or so. La Nina conditions, La Nina, just to say in general, is a southern oscillation system that promotes cooler than average temperatures in the eastern Pacific and slightly warmer than average temperatures here in the Atlantic. But it also affects our weather pattern here for giving the southern United States drier than average conditions as well as warmer than average conditions. And that falls right in line for what we're expecting through the next 3 months and for both precipitation and temperatures here. So that pretty much makes sense that La Nina is favored. I believe we're still in a near neutral pattern as of right now. So more than likely, that's why we're seeing equal chances for us here in the ArkLaTex peeking into the region for both temperature and precipitation. But yeah, that explains why La Nina is favored. But let's talk about the 8 to 14 day U.S. hazards. This goes through the week of Christmas here, and it shows that heavy precipitation is possible for the far western portions of the country, as you can see there on the screen. But snowfall is more than likely for areas in the Rocky Mountains, as mentioned before. Moderate risk for that in portions of Idaho, Montana, as well as northwestern, I believe that's Wyoming, the state of Wyoming. Slight risk for most areas near the Rocky Mountains, as well as the mountains in California could see a very high risk for heavy precipitation through the week of Christmas. So they're more than likely going to see snow by around Christmas, and maybe it looks to be unclear about on Christmas Day exactly, but everywhere else around the country doesn't have a pretty high chance of seeing snow on Christmas here. So that wraps up our episode for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow talking about the local forecast as well as weather trivia. It's back. I'm gonna get you guys opinions on if the questions may be too hard for you guys or if it's too easy, and how I may need to switch up the questions. I may ask that on Facebook pretty soon here. But yeah, we're going to be doing weather trivia once again, so make sure to study for that if you want to. But yes, we're going to be talking about different weather questions that you may or may not know. So we're going to be testing your knowledge tomorrow on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. We're also going to be streaming on here, KSLA News 12 weather app, or not the weather app, but the News 12 app, as well as YouTube and on Facebook on the KSLA News 12 page. So make sure to not miss it. It's going to be starting right at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow on our Tuesday. Once again, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, as well as the KSLA News 12 app. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode, and I will see you guys on the next one, which will be tomorrow starting at 10:30 a.m. Have a great rest of your day.